Why did they make such a big deal out of John King misreporting that the attacker had brown skin? Why did they make such a bill? I don't know. I was watching, they put this together. Actually, the Rachel Maddow show put this mashup together, and here is how they've been talking about, since they found out the bombers were Muslim, here's how they've been talking about it in right-wing media, basically on Fox. This is Bob Beckel, by the way. Bob Beckel's a Democrat, but, so he's a big Democrat, and he's supposed to be the liberal on the panel over at the 5. He's the Alan Combs. Except, the thing about Alan Combs never let his positions get usurped by the people. He never became a right-winger. Alan Combs did stay a left-winger.
No, Alan Combs never became a right-winger. He was always a left-winger who lost every argument he had.
Yes. He was just a horrible debater, and that's why Sean picked him. And so, he was anyway, so here is Bob Beckel, and here's how they're talking about this over at Fox.
We know there's one bottom line. In the Muslim communities around the world, they do not like us.
Okay, which works out fine because we hate their guts too, apparently, right?
Wow.
I mean, how much longer are we going to let this peace-loving majority of Muslims in this country hide the bad apples so we can't find them? That's what's happening.
Very clever of them.
Yes. Okay. Also, when are we going to start profiling right-wing extremists? We know they hate government.
No. All these white people and these militias, they hate us.
These native-born Caucasians. All right, there's more to it.
American Muslims. They largely remain silent.
He just said that the moderate Muslims largely remain silent, even though in Canada it was the Muslim community that just turned in those 2 guys who were planning to bomb the trains up in Canada. I don't know if you guys heard about that story, but it was actually the Muslims at the mosque. And then, guess what? The Muslims threw the guy who was this bomber. They threw him out of their mosque. They said he was too crazy, and he said, "Get out." Right. They threw him out of their mosque. So let's just remember that.
The guy that was killed was too crazy for the mosque. And the guy who's still alive, didn't even participate in the churches or anything like that.
Yes, this is all correct.
By the way, I can't imagine why moderate Muslims wouldn't want to have a stronger voice in the American public, what with them being shouted down every single time by people like this.
Right. Remember, they wouldn't even let them open a mosque near in Manhattan. Okay, so
I can't even tell the difference between them and Mexicans.
Because they're sneaking in, Stephanie.
Yes. So I'm going to play this all the way through. And because when I listened to this, the first time through, it sounded funny. And then when I was playing it back to edit it and get it ready for the show, Steph said to me, she goes, "Wow, it sounds horrible the second time."
That's my act.
So, I'm going to let this play and then we'll go back and take it.
This is a situation we all face in America. The jihad is real. Radical Muslims are killing innocent people and threatening the world.
We bring these people in, even though they're radical Muslims. We have to figure they don't much like us. We bring them in.
Let me just say this about the access that Muslims have in this country, whether they're American Muslims or whether they're here on a student visa. It is enormous, the access that they have, and it is virtually all radical.
Senator, very quickly, there are some who are getting very leery of all the Muslim students in America.
What other theology in this world justifies murdering innocent people? The answer is only radical Islam allows terror murder. That's the truth.
He's also very dangerous. He's kind of been like the Muslim apologist in Congress for a long time. He raised his right hand and took the oath of office on the Quran. If you remember in 2007, Keith Ellison did. I think it's time for profiling, though, don't you, Ange? I think it's time for profiling because I do.
Okay, so it's kind of funny when you listen to it, but if you listen to it a second time, it just gets really sad. Like, it gets scary, you know?
They have a lot of access. I mean, one of them became president.
Can't get more access than that.
They're upset that Keith Ellison, who is a Muslim in Congress, right, that he, instead of swearing in on the Bible because it's not his religion, he swore it on the Quran, the book from his religion, and so that's a religious litmus test. What they just did is like the worst thing. That's religious bigotry. Talk about the war on religion. What the hell is that? It's only cool. One religion's only cool in America. You got to be Jewish or Christian because then you can use the Bible to swear in. Any other religion, you're suspect to these guys.
Can we just profile the women who marry and go out with these guys?
Yes.
The dead bomber had a wife and a kid. Way to go, gals. That's good taste there. That's all I'm saying. Okay, that's my beef.
Jim, the Chechens are beautiful people. They're very handsome. The women go for the Chechens. All right?
I'm just saying, a Muslim congressman took an oath on the Quran, which is wrong because this is a secular society, and you're supposed to take the oath on the Holy Bible.
See, it's just as well that he didn't take
really sneaky of Keith Ellison to openly tell everyone that he's a Muslim and then get sworn in on the Quran and then just be openly a Muslim to anyone who wants to know about his religion. Something is afoot here.
Well, if he's not trying to hide something, then why doesn't he go by his Muslim name? Why does he go by Keith?
Yes.
That's to lull us into a false state of serenity.
Listening to these guys say this stuff, like literally marginalizing a whole section of American populace and saying, getting the pitchforks out. This is what this is, right? You guys have a different religion than me, so we're coming after you because two maniacs, who happen to be citizens, by the way, decided to blow up that has nothing. So let me just say this. It made me think of that saying that the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. And what we need to be vigilant against is these crazy right-wingers who couldn't care less about the Constitution. What they really only care about is a couple of lines in the Second Amendment. That's really all they care about. And white privilege.
These are the same guys who put Japanese in.
Yes, these are the same.
And these bombers, they were from the Caucasus region of Russia?
Yes.
Where Caucasians come from?
Caucasians, yes. Yeah. That's true.
You know what, Robert, will you just be quiet about the Japanese internment camp? That's all we ever hear from you.
Except for never.
I'm really sick and tired of hearing your problem.
That's the thing that really bothered me was that when he said these Muslims have so much access, they have the same access that we all do to this country. They are citizens. They have the access of citizenship, and that's what he was objecting to.